Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have our Best in Beauty 2019 Ride or Die Holy Grail favorites. We're going to be going into a whole lot of products right now. The one thing I am going to say, since I've been in this weird studio and not at my home studio, because you guys know I am moving and I'm in the process, so right now I am in a hotel in a corner filming, which is weird. When I packed up my to-go suitcase with all of the stuff that wasn't getting put in a box, I packed my Ride or Die favorites. So you've seen a lot of these in the recent videos because I haven't had my entire collection with me. So for some of these items, it is going to be a refresher, but for the most part, if you're looking for what my favorite top products for 2019 are, make sure to keep on watching, and please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload 3 times a week, and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So if you want to see the best in beauty for this year, stay tuned. So first, I did a tutorial on this look. This is actually my New Year's Eve look, so you'll see a video on this coming soon. Also, I'm going to link a video up here. I already spoke about in a video my current go-to favorite brushes, so if you are interested in my favorite tools, you can always hit up that video after this one. But now we're going to work through a full face and why I love what I love and all of that. So I am going to work through the progression of a face. So the first product is going to be primer. What I am going to say is last year's winner, the Bye Bye Pores Primer from It Cosmetics. I still love it, however, it was discontinued. So I do have a backup bottle of this. I'm in love with it, but since you cannot get it anymore, I've been trying to find a suitable replacement. And so far, it is the Smashbox Photo Finish Oil and Shine Control Primer. This is beautiful because it blurs and smooths the pores, fills them in a little bit, but more importantly, this will actually control oil throughout the day. I am going to skip to the end and go to the favorite setting spray of the year, and it is the Smashbox Setting Spray. This combo is oil-proof, waterproof, long wear, sweat resistant. This has become my new Holy Grail combo for keeping my makeup lasting all day long. Clearly another issue for me, my favorite foundation from last year, the Dior Forever. I have 6 bottles of. If you've been on my channel for the past year, you know I've been bitching and complaining the entire time because this was also discontinued. The closest to this foundation is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD. This is not a new launch. This is not a new product of the year. This is not even a new product to me. However, I have rediscovered it this year, and I would say that in addition to or instead of this one, this might be my most worn foundation of the year. I do really like, and I will honorable mention, the Pure 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie and the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. But this one, if I had to pick just one, that's it. If you have any questions on any of these products, leave them down below. I am going to be going through this pretty quickly so that it doesn't take up 19 hours. But concealer. So the 2 biggest ones I like for very different things. The first is going to be the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. I wear the shade 4. This, I think, is basically identical to the Tarte Shape Tape. Like, these two might be the same foundation. You definitely get a little bit less product, I believe, in the Benefit one, but it is also like $9 cheaper, so you take that how you want. I love this for really doing like a full-on brightened effect on the under eye. And then for my pinpoint brightness, when I really just want to add that highlight to the face, I've been using the Jeffree Star Magic Star in C11. With this one, I will take this, and you can take it on the whole face, but I find that it's a little bit more like Airbrush Flawless and almost too like Facetune in real life, that it doesn't look like skin anymore. So I'll kind of focus this on the innermost corner of the eye, and I'll take it in my like center of my face for brightness, but I will usually layer this over another concealer in the cheek area just because I want it to be a little bit less heavy, but it doesn't feel heavy. It feels beautiful on the skin, but I don't like the way that it almost looks. I want my skin to look like skin. I don't want my texture or pores to really be accentuated, but I don't want that like spackled effect that I get with this. Sometimes I do, and then you'll see me use that like everywhere, but for the most part, not for me. So the pressed powder, I think, won last year's Best of Beauty. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder. This is like my 3rd that I've gone through, and I wear it in shade 2. I can get away with it in shade 1, but I do like to go shade 2 because I want to be a little bit more my color. Shade 1's a little bit fair. Smooths out everything, blurs imperfections, and just makes the skin look airbrushed, just like it claims, which most things say they airbrush and they don't. This actually does. For pressed powder, I love the Charlotte. For the loose powders, I've been on the hunt for the perfect loose setting powder for a very long time, And I might have found one that I think is better than my Coty Airspun, and it is the Huda Beauty Cupcake Powder. This powder, first off, I love the packaging because it is a powder like sifter. So if I take a brush, let me grab a brush. So if I were to take a brush and just dip it in the netting, pick up a little bit of powder, and then lightly powder the face, it has a little bit of a scent to it, but it is not nearly as fragrant as a lot of the other Huda products. But more importantly, it has just the right amount of color to it that it is not a translucent powder. It has just enough pigment to it that it will continue to smooth and perfect. And when I layer this over my foundation, it is beautiful. It also has like that perfect pinky undertone for my complexion. So many times when brands come out with these kind of powders, like the Fenty powders, same 8 shades of powder, they have a purple one and they have yellow. They don't have one that's pink, so I can't actually use their powders unless I want to be way off from my undertone. I'm trying to do this in the order I do my face, and like I keep wanting to grab things, and I'm like, I don't do that yet. Next, at this point, I would have done my brows. So for a brow pencil, this is the Hourglass Arch Pencil. I have the shade Ash, which is a nice gray taupey tone. This is what I will use to like line the top of the brow, line the front of the brow, and really build up the shape on the days I want something a little more intense. And then my daily is the Milk Kush Brow, which I did today. And I just take this, I'll comb it through, and it'll be the fastest brow ever. When I want that like Instagram flawless brow, I will use the pear, but on the regular, I just take the gel, comb it through, grab a spoolie, finesse it, and it's done. For contour, for the 3rd year running, Kat Von D. Clearly, this has seen some love. Minus this one, it's a little too dark for me. But all of these powders are beautiful. I love the way they look on the skin. I love the way they blend. I have no issues with this. They did recently start selling them individually, where you can get the light duo, the medium duo, or the dark duo. Once this is dead, I think I'm just going to get the light duo because I really don't use those shades too much anymore. I used to, but now I really only concentrate on the light shades. But it's beautiful. It is a super flawless finish, and it really just builds up contour effortlessly. I did not use this today because I used a different product, which I'll get to in a little bit. The product I did use, this is the Hourglass Ambient Unlocked Palette. This was limited edition, but they did relaunch it, so I will link it down below if it's still available. But the colors inside are still available. So, brightening, contour, bronzer, blush, highlight. This, as like a universal cheek palette, is my favorite. I don't know what I would do without this. I've had it now for a little over a year. When you look from the side, you can see like the mounds are smaller, but when you look from the front, it doesn't even look like I've touched it. I have used this so much. The powders are effortless. They blur and smooth. I used all of this today. I used some other things as well, but I used this entire palette today, and it is the base for most of what's on my cheeks today. It just looks so effortless, and you can build it up if you want something a little more bold and glam, or you can really pare it down if you want it to be more of that soft and neutral, and you can get everything in between. So all in all, definitely a win product. For contouring my nose, you guys know I don't love the Kat Von D powders. This is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. It was a tiny little sample that was 100 points at Sephora. I don't love this on the face, I'm not going to lie, but this is hands down my favorite, best in beauty, 100% nose contour. So I will take this, and it's so easy to travel with. It's almost like a single eyeshadow. All I use it for is to contour my nose. That's it, and that's why having such a tiny one is perfect for me. If you have been trying to find the perfect contour shade that's not too gray on the nose, but it's not super warm like most bronzers, this is going to be your new best friend. For bronzer, this is actually the first year that the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Tantric bronzers are not my favorites. I do love that bronzer, those bronzers, don't get me wrong. However, lately I've been going a little heavier on the contour and then just taking a sheer bronzer just to tie it all together and then adding a lot of blush. I used to do the opposite. It would be a tiny bit of contour, tiny bit of blush, and then a lot of bronzer. So I have been really enjoying the Sunstalker bronzer from Fenty Beauty. What makes me so excited about loving this is that when it first came out, I did not like it at all. It went into a fails video, and I had to keep giving it a chance before I realized what it can do. So if I'm using this as like, I want like heavy bronzer, it's not going to be what you're looking for unless you really load up your brush. But when I go in with a sharp contour, I take a light layer of bronzer just to warm up the skin, and then I add a decent amount of blush. It really just pulls everything together in the most beautiful way. Plus, the undertone is perfect so that it doesn't get super warm or super orange on me. This is not going to come as a shock to anyone, but blush of the year, Alamar Cosmetics. This blush, and I'm going to add a little bit because I want to. This blush right here, this is the medium tan trio. They do have 3. Is perfect. I basically live in these areas right here, and then on a day like today where it's a little heavier, I'll go into something down here. But I have been loving, so the shade Seclusion, this like orangey coral, I have been using this as like the perfect blush topper, just to add a little bit of extra warmth to the face. It's almost like a blush and bronzer topper for my complexion. And then I dip into the middle shade, Isla, and I'll just lightly blend that out. And that'll soften it a little and just give you that beautiful flush to the cheeks. I am obsessed. They blend beautifully. The formulation is beautiful. I have the light to medium and the medium tan. I don't use the light to medium nearly as much as I use this one, but they are both beautiful. Same formula, just different shades. I've also noticed on days like today, when you throw on a vampy lip, you can just keep on adding blush, because honestly, at this point, it cannot hurt. Highlights. So for pressed, I am still loving. This is from Fenty. This is the Sandcastle Mint Mojito Duo. Mint Mojito has this blue undertone, which is beautiful on the inner corners. But Sandcastle is like the most perfect bronzy, glowy. It has a little bit of a cooler undertone. It looks like it's going to be too dark, but once you sheer it out over the skin, it's just the most beautiful wash of rosy tone. I'm in love with it. I think that when I first saw it, I thought it might be a little bit too dark for my complexion, but I was absolutely wrong, and I love how it wears. And for loose highlighters, the Artist Couture Diamond Glow powders are still my favorite. This is the shade Illuminati, which was actually the first one that I got. Gonna grab a highlighting brush just to show you guys what it does. And notice, I have this sealed. All I do is dip my brush in the cap or like in the top of the packaging. I don't even like re-loosen. That's how little you need. Tiniest amount. And what this will do is this will take any look you have instantly and amp it up to a more blinding, glowy place. Especially on a day like today where it's such a vampy lip. We've got glitter on the eyes and we really just, I keep adding more blush. Taking that highlight over really just builds everything up to the point where, I mean, it cannot go wrong. You guys will remember a couple years ago, I used to add like 3 highlighters at all times. Then I discovered these, and the tiniest amount just pulls the cheeks together so perfectly. For mascara, as you guys know, for the past however many years, the Benefit Roller Lash has been my ride or die favorite. I still love it. It is still my favorite. However, I'm going to say that the Dior HD Pump and Volume might be a very, like, near identical formula. The brushes are very different. That's really the main change. This is more of your traditional wand, whereas the Roller Lash, I'm sure you guys will know, is a much tinier, more precise wand. So if you want that same lift, length, and curl, but you don't want that tiny little baby applicator, the Dior will have more of a traditional mascara wand for somebody who is looking for that. Honestly, at this point, I just kind of go back and forth, for whichever one is closer to me at the time. They're both beautiful. They're both perfect. I don't think I have any problems with either. All right, so for liner, you guys will remember a couple years ago, the Kat Von D Basket Case Liner, which was a very thick liner pencil. I broke mine. I was super upset. It was like the perfect liner formula. I did recently find the Anti-Precision Liner, which is the exact same thing, just a different packaging. This is the same liner that I know and love and broke and destroyed. So I am so happy to have it back. But what I also noticed now, I got this in Boxycharm this past month. This is the Cake Pencil Liner, also from Kat Von D. It's the same formula, just thinner. So that liner that I was in love with that didn't budge and didn't smudge and didn't go anywhere, I now have in a thick and a thin volume formula. It is beautiful. It is super long wearing. It is a super matte black. I did not set down my black liner with an eyeshadow today. I just took a brown liner around it. I'm not a brown liner, I'm sorry. A brown shadow around it, but it is so beautiful and wears so well. I am absolutely in love. If you are looking for a pencil, I do love the Urban Decay liners. The Makeup Forever liners are really beautiful. That actually pulls me to the Artist pencils from Makeup Forever. They're good on the eyes. I do have it in black and brown for the eyes because I do really enjoy the formula, but I love them as lip liners. I did use this to line my lips today. So beautiful. They wear so nicely, and then when you're putting on a cream lipstick or even a liquid lipstick, sometimes there are some liners that don't go over your lipstick well. If you want to like touch up the edge or fix something, these ones totally do. So you can really take them anywhere. They are eye safe. They are great on the lips. You can use these anywhere. You guys know that I don't typically wear a lot of liquid liner. Lately I have been, and this is the Benefit Roller Liner. It is from the same collection as the Roller Lash. I have been wearing liner lately. I don't do a full-on wing. I really just take the liner right next to my waterline and just on the upper lid. And honestly, I love how it defines the eyes. I used to pride myself on the fact that even when I wore lashes, I never did liner because I could get my lashes so close. But since I started doing liner again, I realized like it just rounds out the eyes in such a beautiful way and kind of pulls a look together. Lip. So for liquid lipstick, Jeffree Star is still going to take it as the best liquid lipstick formula. I am going to honorable mention the Lunar Beauty lipstick. I've been raving about this since I got it in October. This is Witch Bitch, the most perfect red ever. These two formulas are my favorite liquid lipstick formulas. No exceptions, no nothing. Dose has nice ones, M Cosmetics has nice ones, but these two are definitely my favorites. And for my favorite cream lipstick, it has to go to Charlotte Tilbury. So this is Pillow Talk, which you guys have seen me wear a million times. I also have Bond Girl somewhere. I actually don't know where it is right this second, which is problematic because I know I didn't give it away, I know I didn't throw it away, and I know I packed it, but that is later Brett's problem. I will track it down. Anyway, I think that this is such a beautiful formula, super creamy, but also super matte. Doesn't dry down flaky or cracky or dry, but it doesn't budge at all. It wears like a true matte, but it applies like a cream, and it is super comfortable. Haha, I found it. This is Bond Girl. This is more of a true mauve. This is my favorite of the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. However, Pillow Talk is like their classic, iconic favorite that everybody loves. They're both beautiful. I do have the liners that match, and they're very comfortable, but I do prefer the Makeup Forever liners a little bit more. So for eyeshadow, I have two palettes to talk about that I would say are my ride or die favorites, best of beauty for the year. Ever since they came out, these are really like, if I could have no other eyeshadows, this is what I need. First, the one I used today. This is the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette. It has mattes, sequins, glitters, and metallics. Gives you a little bit of everything you need. You have a little bit of the cranberry pop of colors, a little bit of like the more orangey, but you get everything you need in one place. Nice heavy-duty mirror. Great form. Ooh, that's a nice mirror. Great heavy-duty formula. Does not budge, does not crease. Like, my eyes still look just as good as they did when I filmed this look, which was almost 2 hours ago because I've really been taking my time today. The formula, again, is beautiful, and I do love the way it wears. Ever since it came out, like, I go between this and this. I am going to say that if I had to pick one, this would be the winner. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette. I have been living in this palette, believe it or not. If you guys have been on my channel, you know the colors I go for. It's olives, it's neutrals, and it's purples. And I get all of them in here. The formula is perfect. I think that it works on all skin tones. Rich, deep, fair, light, pasty like me. You can get a pretty look out of this. I have been loving like a purple lower lash line with a smoked out neutral look. This shade Zam clearly has been my favorite just because it is so metallic and so blinding and beautiful. Ride or die. I know it's limited edition, but I hope they keep it around for a little while. I don't want another Amrezy repeat where the most beautiful thing that Anastasia could ever come out with disappears forever, and then we're all really sad. Jackie really did that. These colors are everything. The only one I will say that I don't really use is Wigglese, which is a very red, which I'm going to challenge myself in January to use that shade somehow at some point because when you have a palette with 14 shades and you love it, and there's one shade that you really, there it is, that you really don't use, I don't think I've even touched that shade shy of swatching it. So I have to challenge myself to use that because I've used all the other ones and they are all so perfect. I want to fall in love with the whole thing. But get it while you can. And the last item for the month is year. The last item for Best in Beauty, once again, the Stila glitters. If you're looking for a glitter of any kind, this is it. Like, this is what I used today over the Tati palette, and it's just so metallic and vibrant and shiny and beautiful, and you cannot go wrong. So if you're looking for glitters, I have Wanderlust, which is a pinky and gold reflect, and I have Diamond Dust with me. The other, like, 9 or 10 of them that I have are in a box getting shipped down, but these are the two that I consistently, ride or die, cannot live without. Honorable mention to the House Laboratories Liquid Glam Attack Shadows. This one is in the shade Aphrodite. It is also really beautiful. However, what I will say is if I don't use a waterproof base under this one, it will crease, which is not something I've ever experienced with the Stila. And believe it or not, 20 minutes later, that has been my Best in Beauty 2019. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know what are your favorites. Next month is January, and we will be back to our favorites and flops for every single month. This month, every December, I just do my favorites because honestly, I don't really try too much new in December. I'm really just focused on what do I love and why. Plus, most companies don't come out with new products in December. They launch them in November and they want them out pre-holiday. So December for me, it's not really a lot of newness. So again, thank you guys so much and I will see you next time. Bye.